Hey you! Thank you so much for clicking on this video. So today's video is going to be a story time where I'm going to share one of my experiences that shaped me as a person. In my previous videos here and there I have mentioned that I have had some bad addictions in life, and one of the addictions has been smoking. And in this video I'm going to share my experience with smoking. Having said that, I don't smoke anymore. I believe I am more than 4 years clean now. Also, through this video, I am not trying to promote smoking or any substance addiction for that matter. I am not trying to tell you that you should smoke. I'm not even trying to tell you that you should quit smoking if you are a smoker. I'm not trying to give you any sort of advice. This video is just about my experience and my story and what made me start smoking and how it went and why I quit smoking. Okay, so to begin the story, I would have to go all the way back to 2017. 2017 was the time where I just graduated from my university, got my campus placement from my university itself, and then I started, working during the same year after I graduated. So during the first 3 months in my first company, I was not exactly an employee. I was just a trainee, and our training was happening in Chennai back in 2017. And since my hometown is not Chennai, I belong from the northern part of India. Being in Chennai and living in Chennai for 3 or 4 months, I wouldn't say that it was scary, but still, it was very new, and the newness of it all was making me kind of anxious, kind of nervous, and kind of excited as well. After I reached Chennai, I wasn't sure how I was going to have a social life, because me being a person from the north, plus me being an introvert, I didn't really know how to make friends, or I didn't know how to gel in with the culture over there, how to be more open to the people of the south. So I was nervous, but then I got to know that it was not only me, it was an entire batch of students who were being trained together. And luckily I was in a batch where most of the people were from the north, and so we kind of made this collective group where we were these 10 to 15 northerners who found each other in the southern part of India, and that is how we got to bond with each other like really well, and we were like very supportive of each other during our initial training period. And since we were supportive, we all were very experimental together as well. So I made many friends over there, and me being an introvert, it was like very new for me. Even in college, even as a student, I had never really indulged in drinking or smoking or drug or parties or stuff like that. And so meeting these new people who were also very open to experiment, we were just very much in support of each other to experiment with all kinds of stuff. And that's how we started vibing in Chennai. And you know what, since it was our training period, we didn't have like that burden of responsibility on our shoulders. Nobody in the organization was really expecting a lot of work out of us, because we were freshers, we were learning things. So we were in that very carefree mindset anyway. It almost felt as if we were getting paid to learn stuff and make friends and experiment and explore the city. I honestly believe that it was one of the most fun moments of my life. And the people I met during that time, I would always be grateful for those people. And so yeah, my friends really wanted me to try new stuff, and since I was the virgin, I was given like special attention to try all this kind of stuff. And so I remember that that's how I started smoking. I remember that when my first stipend was credited in my account, the first thing that I bought for myself was a cigarette. It was not intentional. It was something that just happened, and I didn't even notice that I bought a cigarette with my first earning. So yeah, in 2017, during our training period, I, along with all my new friends, we were, hanging out on the beach late night and smoking our worries away, and drinking on the beach and just having fun while not being a nuisance to the society or not disturbing anyone else. We were just pretty chill bunch of kids, I would say. After 3 months of our training period, all our friends, they got placed in different projects within the organization, and so our group kind of disbanded. Even though all of us friends, we separated, we were still in touch with each other. We used to keep meeting each other every now and then. We were still hanging out, we were still drinking and smoking during the weekends. With time, I started realizing that I didn't used to drink a lot, but I started smoking a lot eventually. The project team that I was working with, many of those team members were also smokers apparently. And then the culture during that time before COVID was that we used to go on smoke breaks, and since I used to work night shifts, smoking in the night seemed more fun and cool with colleagues. Even though I lost touch with my friends, I was still in touch with my work colleagues, many of them who were smokers, and we used to go out like at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. in the night during the middle of our shift for smoke breaks, and we used to chat about stuff, about work, about other colleagues, about life, about random topics. I really used to like those vibes. I'm fortunate enough to have worked with like really chill colleagues during the start of my career. All in all, it was just really mellow and really chill, and I really liked that about smoking. And so yeah, that's how smoking became a routinely thing, like an everyday thing. And that's what got me into a smoking habit. I was quite literally smoking every day. Although it wasn't like a lot of cigarettes, initially it was just 2 or 3 cigarettes every day. However, with time, gradually it started increasing to 3 or 4 cigarettes in a day. Then, years pass, life passes, things happen, and you don't even realize that the 2 cigarettes that you used to smoke every day, that used to get you through the day, now they're just getting you through your mornings. In the daytime, you need another 2, and during the evening, you need another 2, and during the night, you need another 2. That's where it got to, like, by the end of the second year of my smoking, that I was quite literally smoking about 6 to 8 cigarettes every day, once with my morning coffee or after my breakfast, and then, after my lunch, then with my evening tea. The evening tea smoke was like the most important smoke of the day, and then 1 or 2 after my dinner. This was during 2020, and I also remember that during 2020, COVID hit, we were all locked up in our homes, and then all of a sudden there was nothing else for me to do except smoke. And I found myself smoking literally the 20-pack carton every day because I did not have anything else to do. At that point, I had become dependent on nicotine. So yeah, during COVID, when I was in lockdown, I was living all alone, smoking 15-20 cigarettes every day, taking my health for granted. That's where things started to slump down. It wasn't chill or mellow anymore. It started feeling really heavy. It started feeling really unnecessary. I knew that what I'm doing is completely unnecessary. However, I just couldn't stop myself from doing that. And having that thought in my mind, it made me feel so helpless. I always used to ask myself that why am I wasting away my health like that? And I honestly did not have any answer to that. So that scenario during COVID, it just became really sad. It didn't used to feel chill anymore. The worst part about it all was that even though I knew that it's not good for me, I still couldn't quit. Okay, fast forwarding to second wave COVID. I remember that second wave COVID was the deadliest wave that happened in COVID history. So many people died during the second wave. During the second wave of COVID, that is where I also caught COVID. Full disclosure, I was not vaccinated during that time. And man, the way that those 21 days went for me, it was one of the most horrible experiences I have ever had in my life. And since my lungs were already compromised because of the chain smoking, I cannot even describe that in words, to be very honest. I couldn't go to the hospital because hospitals were of no help altogether. I was just in this do or die kind of situation where if I don't get through this, I would literally die. I am not even sure how I powered through those 21 days of hell. Every passing second of those 21 days, it felt as if someone is constantly choking me and I'm just drowning. I am just unable to breathe every passing second. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't breathe. It was just one of the worst situations of life that I had been in. Thanks to smoking, that it became 10 times worse than it should have been. The damage that nicotine and smoking had done to me, it all showed up exponentially when I caught COVID. I remember that I used to cry so much because I was so afraid to die, but I couldn't even cry because I couldn't breathe at all, and crying requires breathing. I'm not sure how I survived that phase, but the fact that I did, it almost feels as if I've been given a second chance at life, and I shouldn't let it go to waste. So yeah, after surviving the 21 or 22 days of hell, that is when I felt really grateful for my health, whatever health I had left. I felt really grateful for my body, my spirit, my mind, my heart, my lungs, that my entire system supported me the best that it could during this nightmare. And it just struck a chord within me that maybe I should support my system and my body too, you know. Maybe I shouldn't put it through so much shit. For that matter, my immunity, whatever was left of it, supported me throughout this, and I should respect that. That is like an emotion that naturally came out of me after I went through so much adversity. And I think that is what gave me the push to quit smoking altogether. I did not really have to struggle to quit, because catching COVID showed me the reality of what smoking could do to you and your immunity, and how much smoking could make you suffer. It could give you nightmares of death, but that nightmare is already turning into a reality in a sense, and you don't have any time left anymore to even cry. After seeing myself go through all this, it just scarred me. I immediately started detesting cigarettes and nicotine and even the smell of smoke. And since then, I have never really felt the urge to pick up on cigarettes again. The one good thing that came out of me catching COVID was that it made me hate cigarettes so much that I entirely quit on those. The COVID thing, it happened in 2021, and 2021 was the year where I quit smoking. So yeah, that was my stint with smoking, even though it was like really short. However, the entire journey and the progression was so full of ups and downs that it felt like ages. Do I really miss smoking? To be very honest with you, yes. Sometimes I do, because I have had times where I was all alone with just a smoke in my hand, and that was a really comforting feeling for me. Sometimes I do miss that. However, whenever I do miss it, it is immediately followed by the nightmare that I went through during COVID. That is the reason why, even though I miss it, I don't feel the urge to smoke anymore. So yeah, that would be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this little story time with me. I'll keep sharing my other experiences with other substances that I have done throughout my life. I'm not really proud of doing all that, but I think that I have learned many things along the way, and they're worth sharing with the world, you know. Thank you so much for watching if you watched till the end, and I hope to see you soon. Till then, take care.